Have you ever spent hours studying, only to forget everything the next day? Can feel like all that effort was wasted. But what if I told you that you could learn anything 10 times faster? Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, neuroscience has discovered that it's not only possible, it's completely achievable. Today, I'm going to show you 5 science-backed techniques that will not only help you learn faster, but also retain more information, boost your memory, and unlock your brain's full potential. Imagine being able to master a new skill or piece of knowledge in a fraction of the time it would normally take. Sounds incredible, doesn't it? The best part is that these techniques are simple, effective, and backed by research from top neuroscientists. But there's more. Stick around, and I'll also reveal the biggest mistake most people make when learning and how you can avoid it. Let's start with the basics. Your brain is incredibly powerful, but most people don't understand how to tap into its full potential. Think of your brain as a muscle, just like how lifting weights makes your muscles stronger, learning strengthens your brain. However, there's one big difference. Unlike muscles, the brain doesn't get stronger automatically through sheer repetition. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. This means that the more you learn, the stronger your brain gets. But here's the problem. The traditional learning methods most people use aren't helping the brain reach its full potential. Why? Because our brains aren't designed for passive learning like reading, highlighting, or memorizing facts. Research by German psychologist Hermann Ebbinghaus shows that we forget 80% of new information within 24 hours, unless we actively review and reinforce it. This concept is called the forgetting curve, and it explains why cramming the night before a test doesn't work. Most students use the wrong strategies: highlighting, reading, or watching videos passively. These methods do not help your brain retain information. When you're not actively engaging with the material, your brain doesn't make strong enough connections to hold the information. If you want to learn faster, you need to learn actively, not passively. So, how do you fix this? The good news is that we now know how the brain works when it learns, and we can apply these findings to drastically improve our learning speed and retention. Let's jump into the 5 science-backed methods that will help you unlock your brain's potential. The first technique is the 80-20 rule, also known as the Pareto principle. This rule states that 80% of your results come from just 20% of your efforts. In terms of learning, this means you need to focus on the core concepts that will give you the greatest return on your effort. For example, when learning a new language, did you know that the most common 500 words account for about 70% of all daily conversations? Instead of memorizing thousands of words, focusing on this smaller group will drastically increase your ability to communicate effectively. The same goes for studying for an exam. Instead of trying to remember every detail, identify the key concepts that are most likely to appear on the test. Teachers and textbooks usually highlight the most important information. Focus on that 20%. Here's another application of the 80-20 rule, the Feynman technique. This method involves explaining a concept in simple terms as though you're teaching it to someone with no prior knowledge. This forces your brain to clarify and simplify the material, which helps reinforce your understanding. The second technique is spaced repetition, which is one of the most effective ways to enhance long-term retention. The idea is simple. Instead of cramming all your studying into one session, review the material at increasing intervals. Let's say you study a topic today. You review it again tomorrow, then again in 3 days, then a week later, and so on. This gives your brain the time it needs to consolidate memories, making the information stick. One of the best tools for this is Anki, a flashcard app that uses spaced repetition algorithms to help you review material at optimal intervals. By using these spaced intervals, you're ensuring the material gets transferred from your short-term memory into long-term memory, making it much easier to recall later. Research has shown that spaced repetition can improve memory retention by up to 300%. In fact, this technique is so powerful that it's used by experts in fields like medicine, law, and language learning. Active learning is the third technique, and it's perhaps the most important. If you want to learn faster, you need to actively engage with the material. Don't just read the textbook or watch the video. Interact with it. Here are some active learning methods that will help you. 1. Summarize in your own words. After reading a chapter, try to explain the key points in your own words. 2. Use the Pomodoro technique. Study in focused intervals, e.g. 25 minutes of studying, then a 5-minute break. This keeps your mind fresh and focused. 3. Teach what you've learned. The best way to understand something is to teach it to someone else. When you explain it to others, you force yourself to truly understand the material. Asterisk. Studies show that teaching forces your brain to organize the information, and this helps you retain it much better. If you can explain a concept clearly, you truly understand it. The 4th technique is mental association. This works by linking new information to something you already know. The more connections your brain can make, the easier it will be to retrieve that information later. For example, to remember the names of the Great Lakes, you could use the acronym HOMES: Huron, Ontario, Michigan, Erie, Superior. By associating each lake with a letter, you're creating a mental link that makes recall easier. Let's say you're studying biology and learning about the digestive system. You could visualize it like a factory where food gets broken down, packaged, and sent out to be used by the body. Creating vivid imagery and linking new information to existing knowledge helps your brain make stronger connections. The 5th technique involves 2 essential elements: sleep and exercise. Your brain doesn't learn while you're actively studying. It learns while you sleep. When you sleep, your brain is actively consolidating new memories and strengthening neural connections. In fact, studies have shown that sleeping right after learning can improve memory retention by up to 30%. But it's not just sleep, exercise is also crucial. Physical activity boosts the flow of oxygen and nutrients to your brain, improving memory, focus, and cognitive performance. The number 1 learning mistake. Now, here's the biggest mistake most learners make. They focus on how long they study instead of how effectively they study. It doesn't matter if you study for 5 hours if you're using inefficient methods. Instead, study smarter, not longer. If you want to take your learning to the next level, consider exploring some advanced memory techniques that can help you retain information at lightning speed. One powerful method is the memory palace, or the method of loci, which involves associating the information you need to remember with physical locations. Another great technique is mind mapping. This involves visually mapping out the connections between ideas. Instead of just writing down linear notes, mind mapping allows you to create a web of information that helps you see the bigger picture. Our brains are wired to process information through all of our senses. While most of us only use sight to learn, studies show that multisensory learning, engaging multiple senses, can improve both understanding and memory. We all know that motivation plays a huge role in how we learn. If you're not motivated, it's much harder to stay focused and retain information. To stay motivated, try setting specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, SMART goals. We can't talk about learning and memory without mentioning the impact of nutrition and hydration on brain performance. Your brain requires nutrients to function at its best. For example, omega-3 fatty acids found in fish are crucial for brain health, while antioxidants found in fruits and vegetables help protect brain cells from damage. It's also important to stay hydrated. Dehydration can significantly impair cognitive function and memory, so make sure to drink enough water throughout the day to keep your brain sharp. In addition, certain foods can actually enhance your brain's ability to learn. Foods like blueberries, walnuts, and dark chocolate have been shown to improve cognitive function and memory. So, if you're looking to boost your brain power, consider adding these brain-boosting foods to your diet. Finally, let's talk about the importance of mindset. Your mindset has a huge influence on how quickly you learn. If you approach learning with a fixed mindset, where you believe intelligence is static and cannot change, it's much harder to succeed. However, if you have a growth mindset, you'll see every challenge as an opportunity to improve and grow. A growth mindset, as popularized by psychologist Carol Dweck, is the belief that with enough effort and the right strategies, anyone can learn anything. This mindset helps you embrace challenges, learn from failure, and keep improving. When you start to view setbacks as part of the process, learning becomes much more enjoyable and effective. If you want to develop a growth mindset, try these strategies. 1. Embrace challenges instead of avoiding them. 2. Learn from feedback instead of feeling discouraged. 3. Celebrate effort instead of just focusing on outcomes. 4. Keep a positive attitude even when things get tough. Asterisk. Now that you've learned these powerful techniques, it's time to put them into action. Start applying these strategies today and see for yourself how quickly your learning and retention improve. Whether you're preparing for an exam, learning a new skill, or just want to improve your overall cognitive abilities, these techniques will help you get there faster. Remember, it's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. By utilizing spaced repetition, active learning, and mental association, you can drastically increase how much you learn and how well you retain it. Before you go, don't forget to hit that like button if you found this video helpful, and make sure to subscribe to the channel for more science-backed learning strategies. Also, if you have any questions or thoughts on these techniques, leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear about your experience. Thanks for watching. Keep learning, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video.